Beyond the Deck presents Guide to the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is the 11th card in the major arcana of a tarot deck. It is typically illustrated as a great turning wheel, often inscribed with mystical symbols, surrounded by mythic creatures or elemental beings, rotating in the vast expanse of sky or cosmos. This wheel represents the cyclical nature of life, destiny, and the ever-shifting forces of fate. Symbols often include the 4 winged creatures from the corners of the world, representing the fixed signs of the zodiac and the stability amidst change. Alchemical letters, Taro or Rota, and sphinxes or serpents, wisdom, riddles, and the rise and fall of fortune. Together, they portray the delicate balance between chaos and order, karma and chance. The card evokes a sense of motion, sometimes upward, sometimes downward, illustrating the inevitability of change and the unseen forces that influence our path. It is a reminder that while we cannot always control what happens, we can choose how to respond. The Wheel of Fortune embodies cycles, timing, and transformation, inviting surrender to the larger rhythms of the universe and trust in the unfolding of one's soul journey through both ascent and descent. Cycles. The Wheel of Fortune turns as the eternal rhythm of existence, the dance of cycles that lift us, release us, and return us to new beginnings. It is not a wheel of chance alone, but of pattern, the unseen geometry of destiny unfolding in spirals, seasons, and tides. Here, we are reminded that nothing is fixed, that change is both inevitable and sacred. The wheel does not judge as it turns. It simply reveals the movement of life, the rise and fall, the gain and loss, the ending and becoming that shape every soul's journey. Its divine essence lives in the truth that fortune is not random but flowing, that even in uncertainty there is design, and in every turn an invitation to surrender to the greater harmony at play. The Wheel of Fortune is the pulse of the cosmos, the unseen breath that guides us through transformation. It is the spiral that draws us onward, the reminder that beginnings are born from endings, and that each turn of fate is not a closing, but a crossing into the next rhythm of becoming. Timing and transformation. The Wheel of Fortune is the rhythm of cycles, the unseen clockwork of destiny, and the turning of all things through their appointed time. It is the whisper that reminds us that nothing stays still, that life moves in spirals, seasons, and shifts, forever carrying us from what was into what must become. The wisdom here is not in resisting the wheel's motion, but in recognizing its grace, the alignment of timing with transformation, the hidden harmony that unfolds when we release control and trust the larger design. Its divine essence is reflected in the rise and fall, in endings that bloom into beginnings, in the reminder that fortune is less about chance and more about flow. Each turning is a teacher, each shift an invitation to grow beyond what we once believed was fixed. The Wheel of Fortune is the pulse of change, the eternal movement that threads our story into the greater tapestry. It is the surrender to transformation, the trust in timing, and the knowing that each revolution of the wheel draws us closer to the truth of who we are becoming. Inviting surrender, the Wheel of Fortune is the great turning, the eternal cycle that invites us to release our grasp and yield to the flow of change. It does not ask for struggle, but for trust, for the quiet surrender that opens us to transformation when the moment arrives. Its wisdom is not in forcing the wheel, nor in resisting its motion, but in leaning into its rhythm. The wheel turns in its own time, revealing that what rises will fall, what falls will rise, and that no state is ever final. In surrender, we discover freedom, for we are no longer caught in clinging to fortune or fearing its loss. Its divine essence is reflected in the grace of letting go, in the hidden alignment between timing and transformation, and in the truth that surrender is not defeat, but an opening. Through surrender, the wheel does not crush us, it carries us. The wheel of fortune is the hand of change extended, the breath of destiny reminding us to trust. It is the turning that teaches us that surrender is not the end of our will, but the beginning of wisdom. The wheel of fortune speaks to the eternal rhythm of change, the turning of cycles that lift us, release us, and return us to new beginnings. It reminds us that life is not static, but ever shifting, guided by patterns larger than we can see. This card teaches that transformation does not come through force, but through surrender, through trusting that timing itself is sacred, and that each rise and fall carries wisdom. The wheel turns not to punish or reward, but to reveal the greater harmony that underlies both fortune and loss. To walk with the wheel is to embrace life's ebb and flow, to recognize that no state is final, and that every ending is also a becoming. It is an invitation to let go of resistance, to move with the spiral of change, and to find grace in the unseen design of the cosmos. Through this surrender, we align with transformation and discover that what once felt uncertain is simply the rhythm of the universe carrying us forward, ever turning, ever renewing, ever drawing us closer to the truth of who we are. Keywords. Upright keywords: cycles, change, destiny, timing, transformation, surrender, flow, turning points, fate, rhythm, renewal, movement, alignment, life spiral, cosmic order, unseen patterns, expansion, evolving journey. Reversed keywords: resistance to change, misalignment, stagnation, bad timing, upheaval, external pressures, disruption, repeating cycles, lack of control, clinging to the past, unexpected setbacks, karmic lessons, disconnection from flow, delays, inner resistance, avoidance of transformation. Meanings of symbols and colors on Wheel of Fortune card. 1. The wheel. The eternal cycles of life, the turning of fate, and the reminder that all things are in motion. It represents change, transformation, and the spiral of existence. 2. The four creatures: lion, bull, eagle, angel, child, man. The four fixed signs of the zodiac: Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, symbolizing stability amidst change, the guardians of the four directions and the elements of balance. 3. The serpent descent into matter, trials, and the inevitable pull of change. It can represent chaos, but also the shedding of old skin to be reborn. The Sphinx mystery, riddles, and wisdom beyond understanding, guarding the deeper truths of fate. The Anubis figure, the guide through cycles of death and rebirth, transition, and transformation. 6. Books. The hidden knowledge of destiny, the laws of karma, and the unseen design that guides the wheel. Blue. The presence of spirit, wisdom, and trust in the unseen flow of life. Yellow. Divine illumination, clarity, and the higher pattern revealed through change. Orange. Transformation, creative power, and the spark of momentum that propels cycles forward. White. Purity, destiny's truth, and surrender to higher order. The Wheel of Fortune is a powerful symbol of cycles, transformation, and the ever-turning rhythm of fate. Its meaningful colors and symbols weave together to express movement, timing, and the sacred flow of life's unfolding pattern. It speaks to the mystery of change as both teacher and guide, offering wisdom through surrender and creating a foundation of trust, renewal, and cosmic alignment. To the greater design and to the path that carries us ever forward in its turning. The Wheel of Fortune, when drawn upright in a tarot reading, embodies the essence of cycles, transformation, and the sacred rhythm of change. It represents destiny, divine timing, and the unseen patterns that guide life's unfolding journey. This card encourages surrender and openness, suggesting that now is a time to trust the turning of the wheel, to release resistance, and to allow life's natural flow to carry you toward new opportunities and growth. In addition, the Wheel of Fortune signifies pivotal shifts, alignment with higher purpose, and the transformative clarity that emerges when we embrace change as sacred. It reminds us that fortune is not random, but part of a greater design, weaving endings into beginnings and challenges into renewal. When this card appears, it often indicates a moment of transition, an invitation to let go of control, honor the timing of the universe, and trust that each turn of the wheel moves you closer to alignment, wisdom, and the unfolding of your true path. The Wheel of Fortune, when drawn in reverse, speaks to resistance, misalignment, or the unsettling feeling of being caught in cycles that seem beyond your control. It suggests delays, setbacks, or moments when the flow of life feels disrupted, manifesting as frustration, stagnation, or a sense of bad timing. This reversal calls attention to where attachment, fear, or denial may be preventing you from moving with change. It highlights the places where you may be clinging to the past, resisting transformation, or struggling against the natural rhythm of life's unfolding. It may point to a time when fortune feels turned against you, when uncertainty or upheaval clouds your perspective. Yet beneath the turbulence, the lesson remains. Change is still sacred, even when it arrives uninvited or unrecognized. The reversed Wheel of Fortune invites you to soften into surrender, to release the illusion of control, and to trust that missteps and detours also carry wisdom. It reminds you that life is not linear, and that what appears as delay or misfortune may in truth be redirecting you toward greater alignment. When this card appears reversed, it is a compassionate call to accept the impermanence of all things, to learn from recurring patterns, and to remember, even in resistance, the wheel still turns, offering you another chance to grow, renew, and begin again. Journal questions that can help you learn and understand the Wheel of Fortune more deeply. What are the main symbols and images on this card, and what do they represent? Analyzing the card's imagery can help you grasp its underlying themes and messages. Look for colors, objects, and figures, and research their traditional meanings in tarot. What is the traditional meaning of this card in a reading? Understanding the card's conventional interpretation can provide a foundation for its use in readings. This includes both upright and reversed meanings if applicable. How does this card relate to the other cards in its suit or major arcana? Identifying the card's position within the larger structure of the tarot deck can offer insight into its role and significance. Compare it to other cards in its suit or sequence. What are some common themes or life situations this card might represent? Reflect on how the card's meaning can be applied to real-life scenarios. This helps in connecting the card to personal experiences and readings. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Find us on Facebook.